Welcome. I'm your host, Jaron Kerr, and you're watching The Poets. On today's show, we will be covering two Toronto poets who took different paths on their journey into poetry. Coming up first, poet and author, Marcus Medford.
You might as well take my heart when you exit. I'll have no use for the thing when you're gone. I blinked and I was no longer with you. Your scent no longer filled the room. But it's okay, I tell myself, in a heap of self-loathing, in a pit of despair. My name is Marcus Medford, poet and journalist. My first writer's name was Marcus Roy. It's spelled like R-O-I, like the French way. But my stage name now is Mars the Poet. I've been writing poetry since I was 12. I published a poetry collection in 2016, Book of Mars, which is my first collection. I did a performance at TEDx UTSC in 2017. In the wake of a hurricane, all hope lie in tatters, mangled and bloody on the floor. Whisper to me sweetly with your last savory breaths. Give me silence, soak me in darkness. Fade into nothing as the wind rustles between the trees. Rest in peace, Marcia Williams Medford. First, when I was writing, it was really just about the emotion. It's like, I'm feeling a lot of things. I'm a very social person, but I don't like talking to people about my feelings or my issues, so that was the way that I used to do it. But later on, it was like, getting into the habit of writing. That's one of the things they say makes you a good writer, forcing yourself to write, writing about different things. So not just writing about how I'm feeling or something that happened to me, writing about something that has nothing to do with anything related to me, writing something about an object, for example. So initially it did start definitely as based on emotion, trying to get through things, trying to express things that I didn't feel comfortable telling people. But then later on it progressed into just writing for the joy of it and to kind of expand the things that I'm able to write about.
Next up, we have Vivian Petruno. Although she has had less technical training than Marcus, that has not affected the quality of her poetry, as you will see in the next clip. Enjoy.
I know a part of you died when this illness chose you. I know seeing figments of your imagination can be great. Yes, I hear you, Mom. I know you see this woman with no limbs. I remember the stories you would tell me before bed at the age when I was learning addition and subtraction, because when I subtract a mother from my childhood, all I'm left with is a broken and depressed father. If I could have anything in this world, I would want you well. So when I was 12 years old, my parents were, arguing in the other room and sort of getting physical, and I didn't really have any way of dealing with my emotions, so I would act out in school and that kind of stuff. But this day, I remember just slamming my door, making sure my dog was in the room with me, and I just started writing. And I kept writing, and I was crying as I was writing, and as I read back one of the poems, I just felt free. I felt like writing was a part of me for the first time. I would want the dating talks. I would love the period talks, point blank period. I would want you to tell me how wonderful I'm going to become. Maybe you telling me I'm grounded or telling me I don't need to act out in school. You rathered me in acting classes. Words like, things will get better, would creep out of your mouth. I would want you saying that even though I was an accident, I was a beautiful accident, instead of me feeling as if I was an erasable marker that didn't belong on this canvas called life. I remember one time I was in Ottawa for a championship poetry event, and I didn't know if I should perform a poem. It was really personal. It was about my sister and her eating disorder. And I just said, fuck it, I'm sure it'll do fine. I'm sure no one's gonna judge me for it. And I ended up doing it, and afterwards someone actually came up to me and said, my mother was struggling with an eating disorder. I'm really happy that you shared that. And that's when I realized that there's no, the lines between writing for yourself and writing for other people are super blurred, because if you're writing for yourself, you should be writing for other people. It's supposed to help people in the long run. I believe that my mother lives on in my heart. She whispers, "I'm sorry I couldn't be there for your graduation, or won't be there for when you have your own little miracles. I'm sorry I couldn't be the mother I was supposed to be to you. But I'll see you when it's time, my daughter."
Well, it seems our time together has come to an end. Next week, we'll be interviewing two Seattle poets. I'm your host, Jaron Kerr. Thank you for watching. This has been The Poets.